let's talk about Steven Spielberg's The Fabelmans, which is a movie that has been, nominated for 7 Oscars now at this point. It is definitely one that is getting talked about. Many people think it has a chance to win Best Picture. Of course, the Academy loves movies about movies, and they're in luck because there's plenty of movies about movies. If you have not heard about this movie, the brief summary is it's a semi-autobiographical movie about Steven Spielberg's childhood. It's not him. It's about a family called the Fabelmans. So it's definitely it's not exactly an autobiography. It is a fictional characters in general, but definitely very inspired. A lot of apparently the points of it were from his childhood, including some not so flattering things about his family. I think this could be a lesson for me in expectations because I was sort of hearing, oh man, Best Picture buzz. I believe when I watched this movie, it was the favorite to win Best Picture at the time. For a brief moment, it was, and I maybe hyped it up a bit too much. I don't think it's amazing. I think there's things to like about it. It didn't fully work for me the way it worked for some other people. I do have to say though, I think it gets better as it goes along. I think it's a movie to actually actively the quality of it. If it starts here, it just consistently goes up throughout the course of the movie, which is not the way a lot of movies go. Quite frankly, the beginning when they had a younger kid actor playing Steven Spielberg, none of that stuff worked for me. I was bored the whole time, but that's just how what I was. There was some comedy, and it felt very much like comedy of its time when it was of the 50s of back then, which I don't know, not my style of comedy. There were some old people in the crowd that really seemed to like it. So again, probably would work for the right demographic. That's just not me, which is cool. But again, I really started to enjoy it the more it went along, and I think probably my favorite thing about this movie was Gabriel LaBelle, which I feel like maybe I'm crazy, I don't know, because I feel like he's not getting the attention as some other people are. He was my favorite thing about this movie. I thought that just his charisma and sort of his, confusion at the world at times, but also, just the little things he was doing in his performance all worked for me. That was the best part about the movie, other than David Lynch, who was in one scene. To me, I thought that he worked the best in this one. And it's kind of it's a coming of age story. It's kind of a plotless movie in a lot of ways. There's not a goal that he's trying to accomplish throughout, which is, making a movie like that is difficult, right? Because when you have the plot, you can just focus on the plot. That's what the movie is. And it's kind of, when you have this sort of plotless thing, you really have to make sure that each of these sequences works. Because if it doesn't, then even if just a couple of them don't, then there's going to be long periods of time where the audience is bored. And I would say, with the exception of that opening sequence, I at least enjoyed every other sequence that was happening throughout the movie. Again, I watched this one and Babylon in the same week, and it is fascinating seeing the two of them together because they do kind of tell a very similar they're both movies about movies, right? But it's very funny seeing Babylon and the chaos and debauchery going on there, whereas Steven Spielberg, of course, his view of movies is this very triumphant, very beautiful thing of movies are magic and all that stuff, which, hey, it's whatever you're into. Whatever you prefer is kind of the way that it works. I think that, again, there were some really great set pieces in this, and goes without saying, Steven Spielberg, a master of a director. I'm a big fan of Steven Spielberg. I really am. I actually think we need more Steven Spielbergs in the movie universe right now because, again, first time in forever that the existence of movie theaters has been questioned. I think having a guy like Spielberg, who's someone who can get people to go see a movie, is a big deal. Usually he does it by blockbusters, not by something like this. But still, I have no real issue with the with the praise it's getting. I was a little bit disappointed though I wasn't really blown away by it either. I wasn't again, the movie magic stuff, a lot of times that stuff just doesn't really work for me. It doesn't really get me as excited as it gets other people excited. Yeah, movies are cool, but if your whole movie is movies are cool, it doesn't work for me. And I do have to say, this movie was not just that. There was a lot more to it than just that, which is why I still enjoyed the movie. Again, talks about anti-Semitism growing up, which is again, an interesting topic to talk about, and it just kind of touches on a lot of this stuff. It touches on these little details throughout his life in a very unique way, and that's kind of what is fun about it. And again, it's Steven Spielberg. Seeing him direct stuff is cool. A lot of praise has gone to specific actors in this movie, Paul Dano and Michelle Williams. Again, I thought they were fine. I'm not mad at them. I'm a little surprised Michelle Williams, she won, or she got nominated for Best Actress in a Leading Role. Okay, fine. I mean, it wasn't anything. It just wasn't anything crazy to me, and that's kind of my thought about the movie itself. Was like it worked. Everything they did everything they were trying to do worked, but like the whole time I wasn't really feeling much of anything. Movie is a feel medium, right? It's supposed to get you to feel stuff, and while I wasn't enjoying these pieces and was enjoying these scenes and enjoying the movie itself, and it was fine, I also wasn't like going crazy over it. And I do wonder if how much of your enjoyment would be indicated on just simply the how much the humor works for you. And I think if the humor works for you, you're gonna really enjoy this movie. If the humor if it's not your style of humor, I think you'll probably still have a good time with it, but it's not a movie you have to watch necessarily. But again, if you're a big movie fan, you'll probably enjoy it because there are some nice little, little things there that are fascinating. And it's about Steven Spielberg, so if you want to know more about him in a unique way, that's the way you can do it. And again, if you're just trying to, if you're trying to learn about directing, obviously watching all of Spielberg's movies is a great way to do that. But yeah, as a whole, again, things I liked about it, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I don't think I need to get into spoilers here. There were some issues with the, issues is the wrong word. There were some parts where I just didn't really, I guess, care that much as to what happened one way or the other, which is just, it's not that kind of movie. It feels like sort of an upbeat comedy type of movie, which just isn't quite so much my thing as it might be yours. So if that's what you're into, definitely check it out. But again, it does get to some dark places too. I didn't really mention that. It does go there, but it always maintains an upbeat, light tune. So totally get why people love this movie. I unfortunately just liked it. But yeah, those are my thoughts. What did you guys think? Have you seen The Fabelmans? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.